Hi, soulmate. So after a very long break, I'm back. I decided to go for some upgrade classes. So I'll be having some nice tutorials on this channel. So if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. And if you're a new subscriber, you're welcome to. So in today's class, I'm making a very simple tutorial. I'm making Iro and Buba, but with Ankara. I've already made Iro and Buba with lace on this channel, so you can watch that. Then this is the one with Ankara. So for this person, her hip is 45. So I'm going to cut out 2 yards and 16 inches for her wrapper. We're going to fold the sides of the wrapper by 2 inches. So I've done that. Then I'm also going to fold the remaining part for the blouse. For lace, there's already edge, so you don't need to turn it. But for this one, for Euro, like for Buba, for Ankara, we are going to turn it. The edge is usually very wide, so some people turn it by 3 inches, but in this case I'm using 2 inches. So whatever the length of your buba is, make sure you add extra 2 inches for turning it, 2 inches or 3 inches, depends on you. So that's what I'm measuring now. So for my client, the buba is 28 inches, so that it will not be coming up when she ties the wrapper. So 28 is perfect. Some use 30, but please don't use 25. If not, when the person ties the wrapper, it will be coming up. So I'm using 28 inches for the length of the buba, and I'm also adding extra 2 inches to fold it in, so that is 30 inches. Please note the way I folded my wrapper. Can you see it? Now, for buba, what you need to do, you use the widest part of your body to fold it into four. So now for this client, her hip is 45. So I'm going to divide that 45 divided by 4. I will now measure it. Then I will add extra 2 inches or 2.5 inches. Depends on how roomy you want your buba to be. For this person, I'm adding extra 2 inches. So that is 45 divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches. 45 is our hips. So if you have a client that their bust is the largest part of their body, that's what you are going to use. And in some cases, if it is their stomach that is the largest part of their body, that's what you are going to use. So you just divide the largest part of their body, divide it by 4, add extra 2 inches or 2.5 inches, so that the buba will be roomy. So that's what I'm just doing it now. So after marking it, I'll just cut it so it will be uniform. So I'll just go ahead to trim it out. So I will to form a rectangle. Do you understand? So that's how you are going to cut it. So after cutting it like that, the next thing we want to do now is to cut out the neck. Please note, there's no joining in boba. Oh. Do you understand? If you join your boba, that means you spoilt it. There's no joining in boba. So note the way I folded it. You can see that it's a sharp edge at the middle. So now after doing that, now the next thing I want to do is to cut out my neck. For the neck, you have to be very careful. I used to say it is better for the neck to be small. You now retrim it to be big than for it to be large. If it's too large, you have spoilt it. So for this one, I'm using 4 by 4 inches. 4 by 4 inches is very good for someone that is not too fat. So by the time you now cut it out and you check it and discover that it's too small, you can now recut it. But it's better for it to be small, then you will cut it out for it to be large. If it is large, there's no way you can do it again. That means you spoiled the buba. So you have to be very careful. So in this particular buba, I'm using 4 by 4 inches. Some people that are very big, maybe they have big neck, you can use 4 by 4.5. Then in extreme case, like the person is very large, you can use by 5 by 5. But that is extreme. Please be careful. Now I'm shouting now because if you spoil the neck of the buba, that means you have to recut it because there's no joining at the shoulder. So now what I'm going to do now, I was telling you I'm going to fold it in by 2 inches. So now it's time for us to cut the hand of our buba. So in order to cut the sleeve of our buba, what you need to do is the easiest way to do. Your shoulder, you measure it. So for example, this person, her shoulder is 16 inches divided by 2, 8 inches. Her sleeve length, where I want Abuba to end is actually 16 inches. Do you understand? So that 8 inch plus 16 inches will give us 24. It means from the middle of the neck, that's that spine, from the middle to where the buba will end, you have to get 24 inches. However, you've noticed that we've gotten some parts. We've gotten our hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches. So we have 13.5 already. Do you understand? So you are now going to remove that 13.5 minus the total length of 24 inches. So 13 13.5, remove 24 plus 13.5, remove it from 24. So that means the length of the buba hand will now be 10.5 inches. Do you understand? If you don't understand, please rewatch it again. So the length of the buba hand will now be 10.5 inches. For buba, for Ankara buba, the folding is always big, just the way the down part is big. So some people use 3 inches, some use 2 inches. I'm going to use 2 inches. So that 10.5, I'm going to add extra 2 inches. That will now give us 12.5. So it means the length of the buba will be 12.5 inches. Do you understand? So since the length will be 12.5 inches, you are going to note it. So you work with your own measurements. So I'll just go ahead and fold my buba, the fabric, into four. I'll fold it like the rectangle, just the way I folded the body. So I'm going to fold it. I'll just make sure that what I folded, if I divide it into four, it will be enough. So after folding it now, I'm now going to mark the opening, how wide I want the sleeve to be. I'll first of all mark it on the body of the buba, then I'll now mark it on the sleeve. So now on the sleeve opening, I want it to be 10 inches wide, but we are going to we are going to sew it in by half an inch, so it will be 10.5 in total. So that means the opening of the sleeve too will be 10.5, because so whatever it is you open the sleeve by on the buba, that's the same thing you will do on the buba sleeve. So I'm going to mark that 12.5 inches. That is 10 inches for the length of the buba plus extra 2 inches to fold it in. So I'm going to mark it, and the opening will be by 10.5. Do you understand? So when I do that now, when I'm done marking it, I will now cut it out. So can you see it? So I'm opening it. The opening of the buba is 10.5. So you just mark it down 10.5. Then when you are done, you cut it out. So you now cut it out. So at this point, you've not subscribed to my channel, can't you do? I have a lot of tutorials to get to. I need to catch up. So this is how it's looking. So can you see how it will be when you join it? So our boba is taking shape already. So in order for it to be easier on you, we are going to see how we fold it. We fold it in by 2 inch. Do you understand? Now we are going to notch the midpoint. You notch both the sleeve and the buba itself, so that when you want to join it together, it will be easy for you to know. You just match where you notched. So after we are done like that now, it's now time for us to now sew the buba. So the first thing you want to do, open up the buba. After opening it up, you now attach the sleeve to it. So now the next thing we want to do now is to just fold in our sleeve by that half an inch. Did I say half an inch? By that 2 inches we created for it. So I'm just going to fold it. So I'll fold it now before we will join the sleeve to the body of the buba. But let me fold the sleeve and come and show you how it looks. So I've gone ahead to fold the buba sleeve. Do you understand? So now you are going to take the one sleeve of the buba, that notch part, that was why I was telling you to notch it. Match it to the Ankara, the body of the buba, and sew it by half an inch. Do the same for the other side. Make sure it's half an inch you sew it by. So when I'm done now, I'll come and show you the result. So now I'm done. I've already marked, I've already added the sleeve to the body of the buba. So this is how it looks. So this is how it looks. So the next thing you want to do is to just close it up. Make sure that the both sides are together, like they are equal. So you are just going to hold it by half an inch and hold it down. Please be careful when you are doing that armhole, so that it will not be bulging. See the way I folded it, how you will fold it in. Do you understand? So you are just going to sew it by half an inch. Sew it like a four corner. You now sew it down. So when you go into the down part, there's always slit at the buba. You know we are going to fold in 2 inches for the folding for the down part. So you are going to add extra 4 inch. So the slit, the total slit you are going to put at the down part will be 6 inches. So whatever you are sewing, when you get to that 6 inches mark, you stop. So half an inch and you stop at that 6 inches mark. You do the same for the other side. Then now this is the result. Can you see it? I've done it. I've gone ahead to sew it, and I've also gone ahead to weave it because it's good for your clothes to be neat both in and out. So after you are done now, you're now just going to fold it up by 2 inches. So you are going to fold it by 2 inches. Can you see it? I'm marking my 2 inches. So after getting the 2 inches, from that 2 inches, you're now going to fold it in by half an inch so that it should be neat. Do you understand? So you're now just going to fold it by half an inch. So everything will now be 1.5 big, then the half is already inside. So you do the same for the other side and close up the slit. Now this is how my buba is looking. So I want to turn it out now. So after turning it out, by the time I iron it, the armhole will straighten well. Can you see how neat it is? It's now time for us to turn the neck. So you are going to use bias for this. You are just going to use a black bias or any color of bias that matches the particular buba you are doing now. You are just going to use the bias and turn the neck. See how fine our buba is looking. It's very beautiful. So you're just going to turn it. So you fold it from the right side. You know how to turn bias now. So from the right side, you just fold it in and you are good to go. So for the wrapper, so just fold it in by half an inch, then fold it in by 1 inch again, and 1.5 inch again. So it will be total of 2 inches. Do it from both sides. You can also go ahead to add rope to your wrapper, and our buba is ready. So this is how it looks. Can you see how neat it is? So you just iron it and to be neat. So this neck is very perfect for the person I'm making it for. So like I said, it's better for the neck to be too small. You now retrim it down for it to be too big. Please. So if you like this video, kindly subscribe to this channel, share the video and also like it. Now let me show you the wrapper. I'm gonna have to put rope, so you can put rope in yours. So I'm gonna have to put rope so that it will be easy for the person to tie. And this is the end of our tutorial for today. So take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye.